Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Frenchai Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. Happy Wednesday, the 19th of November. Tomorrow, I will be live some way, somehow. I am assuming 11 a.m. here Central in Chicago, because I'm assuming they're going to have the Dick Cheney funeral tomorrow at a cathedral. Mass Cathedral. It's also the birthday of President Biden. He was the 46th president, and Dick Cheney, under George Bush, was the 46th VP. It might be interesting. So let's see. Now, last night, I went to bed thinking about Donald J. Trump and how this ego, that's right, EGO, his ego, and how disrespectful he was to a reporter. At the same time, I had been doing research the last few weeks on the economy, and he's outright lying about it. So much so that he had to save face a few days and roll back some of these tariffs on items, because there are a lot of items that we import because we just don't grow them here, or not enough. But people, I think I'm going to title this thing Egotistical, Disrespectful, and Cunning President. It's not in our favor. And I'm waiting on, especially a female reporter, to just snap back and lose her job. Matter of fact, I don't think she should lose her job. I'm waiting, and let me go there. I'm waiting on a white woman. Look, I'm going to keep it real this morning, because I went to bed thinking about it last night. Trump is snapping on white women left and right. I don't know how y'all taking this crap off this man. I've never seen a reporter in all my years watching Trump come off disrespectful. The introduction is not disrespectful, and nor is it rude. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but the percentage has got to be low. Majority of reporters that I see, they're trying to get a question asked, they're trying to get an understanding. And, let's be honest, a lot of them have legit questions because Trump does double speak. I say he do double speak, and you know it. And then he bullies them. And they're like, Mr. President. You see, they keep their composure like they're in shock. Have you noticed it? Because I know it ain't just me. Okay? But Mr. President, you said on such and such, you're a nasty reporter. Who do you work for? Fox? Nah, fake news. Any and everybody he disagree with. Next. And now it's to the point now, I'm seeing more and more, he's disrespecting reporters. And again, white women in front of guests. We just had, I'm going to show you the video, we just had at the White House an overseas visitor, and Trump disrespected the reporter. It's one thing to disrespect a reporter in front of your colleagues. It's another to do it when you're trying to, or should be showing some hospitality. And I get it, I'll take the criticism. With Pearson, he shouldn't disrespect anybody at any time. I said that. I'm just putting more emphasis on it in that it's in front of a guest. Because you grew up like I did. You know good and well, some of your friends, they show out, with you and just you. But then you get to feeling some type of way when they do it in front of your friends. You know what I'm talking about, so don't get it twisted. Don't make me the issue, because that's how Trump does. So I want to get you guys' opinion. Have you had your fill? And have you been waiting on a reporter just to say, you know what, Mr. President, I've been covering you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I have tried to, well, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I just need to show out right about now. I've covered you on this administration and the past, and I've never disrespected you. But you know what? I got my 401k intact. I got me some money saved up. My car is paid for. My house is paid for. And I can get a job doing something else. Matter of fact, I'm self-employed. And my husband make a whole boatload of money. But let me read you right about now at this White House. Don't you ever in your life talk to me that way. And let her drop the mic. Come on, man. Come. Somebody need to do it. And I'm going to put it out there that at some point, somebody going to talk back and not let this man disrespect them. Oh, but Pearson, you know, he on his medication and, you know, his feet done swelled up. I don't care. I do this for a living. And I'm telling you, I done met some people who do this for a living. And I think at some point they would have snapped and they would have dropped the mic. So let me know how you really feel. If you're a reporter and you've been covering this man the last 2 administrations and he's been popping off on you, would you just let him have it one good time? I think you would. Now let me get into this thing because he called this reporter. I think he told the reporter, be quiet, piggy. What an insult. Here you go.
With respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that are doing all the JP Morgan checks. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Quiet, piggy. Ain't that something? Listen again. Now, suppose somebody talked to his son like that, or Melania. He be doing everything he could behind the scenes to get that person fired. So why are we tolerating this? Oh, Pearson, it's all an act. Don't get yourself all worked up. I don't care what it is. It's disrespectful. And you think this news don't make international headlines? The Bible says the more given, the more required. You don't get to this plateau. See, this is why you have to question a person's Christianity. And I think we should judge as Christians. Tell me what you think. Oh, no, we shouldn't judge. Just wait till the Lord. No. Let the door hit you. Huh? You know what I'm saying? If the shoe fit, wear it. Somebody who's led by God don't act like this, okay? Let's start being adult here and act like we don't know scripture. Don't cherry pick because he the president. Come on, man. He told her and pointed at her, quiet piggy. What kind of example is he setting for the children? Come on, man. We got to stop this foolishness, man. We got to stop it. Now, here's what I'm talking about. President Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman take questions in the Oval Office. Now, watch him clown.
I don't know. Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
Well, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is...
Really? Let's play what she said.
Mr. Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
Well,
And it's a legitimate question. I've seen plenty of reports where they say they didn't have to go through all this. 5 months ago, he had the power. I said he had the power to release them then. And then he gonna go and berate her and then say, well, you're a terrible reporter. And you're, what do you say, a terrible human being? Come on, man, stop playing. You don't want to answer it. Let's just keep it real. Next. 6 months ago.
energy prices are down at tremendous numbers for.
Like I said, the title would be Egotistical, Disrespectful, and Cunning. Listen to this about prices, food prices.
On head-to-head with another fake news reporter during a Meet the Press interview. The president blasted NBC reporter Kristen Welker for being dishonest from the start of the interview after making false claims.
Well, prices are already going up on some popular items.
Whoa.
Tires,
Whoa.
strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down at tremendous numbers for gasoline.
And Welker tried to double down on her claims, but was outperformed by the president.
These are actual examples. So you're saying the prices that are going down, some prices are going up. Tires, strollers, some clothing in the wake of your tariffs.
That's peanuts compared to energy. Energy is 60% of the cost.
But sir, you campaigned on a promise to bring prices down on day
Well, I don't know. When
one.
you say strollers are going up, what kind of a thing? I'm saying that gasoline is going down. Gasoline.
I've heard him say, even as early as a few weeks ago, well, petroleum controls, the big part of this. Yeah, we get it. But your tariffs versus petroleum are two different things here, mister. You know what economists need to, what reporters need to start having? They need to have people who are specifically in the field. No disrespect for her. I don't think she's an economic reporter. And even if she was, that's fine. She needs to bring 2 or 3 other people who are 20, 30, 40 years in the industry with charts and graphs and everything to shut him down. To literally shut him down. And when I say shut him down, hit him with the facts. Because the only thing out of his mouth is, well, it's lower than it was comparison to Joe Biden, but it's still a little bit high, but it's lower than. We don't give a rat's what about Biden. He's disrespectful and he's cunning, and he wiggles his way out of it like a snake.
So while Epstein has haunted Trump all week, we are still just 10 days out from an election where voters, including some former Trump voters, went Democratic over prices in the economy. Today, Trump is actually responding with action, which is pretty interesting given how much rhetoric goes on in this administration. But he is tweaking tariffs on coffee, tea, oranges, these kind of everyday items, trying to at least bring food prices down, which is something people, of course, notice every week. The Times reports the White House has struggled to explain how they can claim tariffs aren't imposing additional costs on consumers, but that removing or lowering them will lower costs. Kind of a mouthful of a sentence that basically says the White House has been, at times, misleading on tariffs, and this action shows that they know very well the tariffs have raised prices on some of those goods I mentioned. This is part of what hurt Republicans in the election. James Carville used to say it's the economy, stupid, and right now the Post says you can update that to it's affordability, stupid.
People, we ain't stupid. If there's anything we all have in common, we grocery shop. Whether we have it delivered or we go there ourselves, we know things are higher. We know it's higher. And this man reacted trying to save face. And November 4th, like I said in my video a few weeks ago, was a referendum when they got their butt kicked, that is the Republicans and the Democrats, like in New York, won. He knows because he gave the illusion that tariffs was going to help our economy. Once we start rolling in these billions, it's going to help our economy, and it's going to help bring down inflation because he's going to pay off some of that national debt. Stop lying, man. Stop lying. Stop telling off. Stop getting all upset and embarrassing the journalists because they're doing their job. Anybody know anything about basic economics with tariffs? Walmart, Target, everybody has to buy theirs when it comes from overseas. They don't eat that cost alone. If that price is up 5, 10, 15, 20%, they pass that additional price onto the consumer. That's why we're feeling it. It's time for reporters and especially content creators to break it down and call this man who he is. He's deceitful.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, the other reason, guys, that this is terrifying is, remember, Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, brought in one of his fucking lackeys. Then they had the nerve to come out and say, what if we, didn't release, quarterly numbers anymore, bro? What if we, did it in a longer time frame? We don't need numbers that often, do we? And then guess what? Now, they're fucking hiding from the public how bad the numbers really are, right? The economy is certainly contracting now. Never mind growth slowing. I think we're actually contracting. And they're hiding it, but they know it. And since they know it, that's why the other day, were you surprised when you saw Trump all of a sudden talking about, we're going to do stimulus checks. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get $2,000 tariff stimulus checks. Meanwhile, remember, Elon Musk said Doge is going to give you $5,000 checks. Where's that? Didn't happen, did it? You think Trump's fucking 2,000 are going to happen? It's not going to happen. It's not going to fucking get through Congress. He's also not going to fucking push for it. But he's, $2,000 stimulus. Why is he talking about stimulus checks? Why is he talking about stimulus checks at the same time he's rolling back the tariffs? Because he knows how abysmal the economic conditions actually are. Every time I look through social media, I see some new fact that blows my mind.
Some folks is getting it. I want you guys to get it. All money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income U.S. citizens have the massive tariff income pouring into our country from the foreign countries, which will be sustainable, will be used to substantially pay down national debt. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. That's what he's been telling y'all. That's deceitful, because the money that they have brought in so far, if you compare it to the period during Biden administration, where he gave out those, $1,400 stimulus checks, that gives you a number, right? Well, watch this here.
The math is mathing. Here's how much has been collected in tariffs so far this year in calendar year 2025, which is the red line. As you can see, the revenue collected this year from tariffs is so much higher than previous years. Right now, as of November, it's at $228 billion. But of course, the year isn't over yet. For December, the government is expected to collect about another $35 billion, maybe $40 billion, and on the high end. And then we have the rest of November, right? So the final figure for the year is going to come around slightly under $300 billion for the entirety of 2025. Now, the question is that enough to fund the $2,000 stimulus check and pay down a substantial amount of national debt? Just so you know, according to the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, now if you remember this one, the $1,400 stimulus check that was issued back in 2021, that cost $411 billion. Okay, just think about that. Again, these tariffs are supposed to bring in around $300 billion, right? So according to my calculations, the math is not mathing. So that,
So it will literally cost a fourth more, like 6. 6 would it be 6 billion. They spent 411 billion, the stimulus checks under Biden. It's going to cost 600 billion, according to this guy, with the facts. So they're shy of how much money to bring in. There won't, from the money that he's bringing in tariffs, it's not going to cover the $2,000 stimulus checks, is what this man is saying. I will put this particular video in the description so you can see it. Here's my gentleman from Chicago, Clearview Tax. Gotta subscribe, he'll teach you.
This president has announced this rollback of tariffs, which of course includes Australian meat exports. The move was made to help lower the cost of groceries for Americans.
If you thought grocery prices just keep rising, it's not your imagination, they are. The latest monthly index shows the average shopping cart now tops $150. That's nearly 4% higher than a year ago.
It's hard, and with the prices going up on everything, food stamps doesn't even go as far as they used to either. Things are more expensive.
For Ernestine Wiggins, a great-grandmother raising 2 teenagers, it's been tough.
They eat you out of house and home. Every time I turn around, they're in the kitchen eating.
But President Trump says he has a new plan to lower prices. Friday announcing he was scrapping U.S. tariffs on dozens of food items, including beef, coffee, and tropical fruits.
Remember, I taught you guys over a couple of months ago that they deliberately set this economy up like this through Clinton and Bush with NAFTA. Back in the day, they sent all those jobs overseas, and they closed our factories here and built factories overseas in the name of cost cutting. They deliberately fattened up these other countries economically so that they could bring them into a world economy similar to America. Then the long-term goal was to do this: have America now renege on the deal that was cut back in the day in terms of tariffs. The tariffs that were negotiated back in the day, in my humble opinion, were negotiated not in our favor on purpose. And the long-term goal was to then, 30, 40, 50 years later, renege on it and say, look, let me bring in somebody like Trump, and now we're going to get our fair share because these countries have been literally taking advantage of us. What does that do? It hurts economies from around the world because they've already built their budgets based on how much money they got coming in. And what does it do? It brings the whole world economy under subjection just in time for 666. People, I'm going to teach you and give you perspective. This was all done. If you understand that there is a worldwide plan to bring everybody under 666 in the market of the beast, you understand they did it in part through trade. They deliberately had those countries bling. Now that they got used to that money coming in, they're going up on the prices through tariffs from America. So America is the whore. We set up everybody to drop the whole world economy into a depression in the future. That's my opinion. I'm gonna make it short, but yeah, he been disrespecting journalists for a long time. Here's another one, then we're almost done.
Infamous run-ins between the US president and the press. Today was an Australian journalist, the ABC's John Lyons, was on the lawns of the White House asking the president about his business dealings. Forbes last week published its rich list, estimating Trump's wealth has grown from $4.2 billion US dollars to $7.3 billion. And Trump eventually grew tired of the questioning and tried to turn the tables, saying he'd tell Anthony Albanese of the interaction with this Australian journalist. The two leaders are expected to meet at the UN General Assembly in New York next week. The format of those meetings is yet to be confirmed, but let's take a listen to this fiery exchange.
That is appropriate, President Trump, that a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity.
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business. In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now. And they want to get along with me. You know, your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You set a very bad tone.
Intimidation through power, egotistical, disrespectful, and cunning. Now I was going to make this shorter, but I want you guys to see the arrogance of this guy.
Mr. President, some of your supporters are split on the U.S. response to
Who you with?
CNN.
No.
There's a split,
Fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches.
But my question
Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
But some of your supporters are wary of the U.S. getting involved in another foreign war, and some believe that we should support.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? My supporters are more in love with me today, and I'm in love with them more than they were even at election time, where we had a total a landslide. We had, you know, we won all 7
Man,
states.
get out of your feelings. Stop playing.
A Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about? You know, you to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you know, you're a terrible reporter. Number one.
See it? See how you go?
Mr. President. Mr. President.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news. I don't go to war. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen.
Told her to be quiet. All right, white women, I'm waiting on y'all. I think y'all highly disrespected, and I think your man should be sending letters to him telling him stop disrespecting white women. He should. And all you Christian white women who out there praying over him, all you white women who are Christians, who say you love the Lord, why are you allowing this man to disrespect? That's all I want to know. And it's an insult to all women. I'm just seeing a lot of white women being disrespected. And I think y'all should say something about it. That's all I got to say.